Hello, boys and girls, this is Anders, of course, and welcome back to another Battlefield 4 video. A little gameplay with the Bulldog and the Desert Eagle 44 silenced for a little bit of exciting gameplay, I at least hope. I'm missing every single damn shot here with my grenade launcher. Sad face panda. A lot of people claim the Bulldog is extremely overpowered. I wouldn't agree with it. The Bulldog has about 30% less magazine or 30% less bullets in the magazine than most other guns in the assault rifle class, and it does 30% more damage, exactly like the Skara. The only thing maybe that makes the Bulldog a little bit overpowered is close range combat, because it got a pretty nice rate of fire and it literally melts anybody at close range, no matter how quick your gun is, except maybe the FAMAS or something like that. That might be the only thing. Guns that I personally find way more OP is the AR-160 and also the AVW or AWS or whatever it's called, the LMG for the assault or the support class. That is a goddamn OP gun. It's like a freaking laser rifle. I can just put all the rounds in such a small little space at such a long range with that thing, and I've seen a lot of other people do a lot better than me with it even. It's just nasty. That's what I think. Anyways, we're not gonna talk too much about that. I hope you guys will enjoy the gameplay in the background. However, we're gonna talk about today's news. This is gonna be kind of a little bit based on Swedish news and a little bit on American news, because honestly, I don't know too much about how the news works in other countries to really talk about it. But if you are from another country than Sweden or America, or feel free, even if you're from Sweden or America, feel free to pop in and say, Anders, I don't quite agree with, or if you agree with me, tell me why, and also how does the media work in your country and that kind of stuff. What's your general perception of them? Are they good in that kind of stuff? Like, we're gonna talk a lot about this. This is gonna be the entire topic actually for today's video. I already tried to record it twice, and both of the times I went talking way too long, and the gameplay didn't fit the commentary. So hopefully I'll do better this time. So I am 26 years old. I've been on this green, beautiful earth quite a long time, and I think I'm not well versed in how the world works and that kind of stuff, but at least I know how the fuck Sweden works, and I know how Sweden has worked in the past. And when I was a kid, this is like 10, 15, 20 years ago, we used to have what's called skvallerblaskare. We still have them. It's basically gossip newspapers that were released in the evenings, so they were called evening newspapers, or evening, or they simply were called skvallerblaskor, or gossip magazines in folkmun, as we say. Basically, that's what the people kind of named them, even if that wasn't the official name, because that simply was what they were. A gossip magazine is where the newspaper simply writes about celebrities, who they're having sex with, who they're marrying, who they're proposing, who they're dating, who's having what child or not, who had a nip slip, and that kind of bullshit that almost no one gives a fuck about unless it's a celebrity that you actually kind of like or have a remote fucking interest of. But this is all fine and dandy. It's not an issue, like, if people want to read this. I mean, I'm all for that and that kind of stuff. But the problem began around 15 years ago when these newspapers got competition from the normal goddamn newspapers. And this is the sad thing. Newspapers that are supposed to report on real news, like accidents, fucking puppies being born weirdly, or like Russian guy jumping with a parachute off the 76th floor of the Empire State Building. I don't know, does this Empire State Building even have 76 floors? I don't know. I'm just making this up basically as I go. But like real news, you guys know what I'm talking about. We're not interested about like what the fuck Justin Bieber ate for breakfast yesterday, or who the fuck people think he fucked, or whatever. We don't give a fuck about that. No one has any kind of interest of that, okay? Or okay, some people might, but very few of us, quote-unquote, normal people, I would say. But the problem was that the normal news started reporting this kind of crap too, as it would be news. And you can see this so easily if you look at the daily papers in Sweden, Aftonbladet and Expressen. Like, if anyone who's working there watches this, I mean, fucking shame on you people. Like, I get that if you're not like the editor or anything like that, obviously you can't decide what is put in the newspaper, but holy shit, man. Like, your newspapers used to be okay. Like, when I was a kid, they used to have kind of a newsworthy content in them, but nowadays, oh my god, it's just so fucking bad. And the same thing goes with the TV news. Like even the state-paid news, like SVT as it's called, Swedish television in Sweden, has a lot of crap. Not as bad as Aftonbladet and Expressen, but still a lot of shit. It's also TV4 news, TV4, and that kind of stuff. And I've noticed this especially also in American TV. The best kinds of examples I can give you is that, first of all, they do all of this stupid ass news reports that aren't even news to begin with. This is, like, I would call it celebrity gossip. Like, they love to put that kind of shit up, obviously because it sells, and I do get that. You need to make money. I mean, for God's sake, even I need to make money to make a living and like pay for rent and food and electricity and that kind of stuff. It's not like you magically get all that paid just because you make videos or any kind of entertainment for other people. You need to live, for God's sakes. I do get that. I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to make money or anything like that. That's absolutely not the point. My point with this is that they've really crossed the line lately where like, yeah, this story might give pretty good pay, so we might run it, even though it's not exactly news, to going over to, who gives a fuck, this is gonna sell a lot of newspapers, and like, let's just make shit up. And like, they literally make shit up. Like, nowadays, if it isn't celebrity gossip, they make some other kind of gossip up. They sometimes even falsify reports and witness reports and similar, and tell the public the complete wrong freaking story. I don't know what's up with them or whatever, but like, it's just kind of getting to a sad state of affairs right now. A great example of real news, but when the newspapers kind of go overboard, like with a fuck ton, is whenever there's some kind of a school shooting in America, Swedish newspapers and Swedish news and also American news goes batshit crazy. They tell you exactly what he had for breakfast, the shooter, they tell you his name, they show his picture a million times, they even tell you what kind of games he likes, what kind of movies he likes, what friends he had, how was he as a person, and it's always the same goddamn fucking story. It's a normal person, everyone says nice person, blah 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 blah, but obviously the person had a fucking mental illness that made him go around shoot up people. But the newspapers, they don't say anything like that. They almost glorify the murderers and like go live coverage 24/7. I mean, it is obviously a huge fucking tragedy and just an awful thing to have happen when something like that happens, but the news, they just milk it way too much, and I think this is one of the biggest reasons people stop watching the news nowadays, at least the conventional news stations and papers and websites and that kind of stuff, because the only thing they report on is real horrible things, made up or semi-true funny things, and sometimes horrible things, or just straight up fucking celebrity gossip. And really, the majority of us, even, I mean, I'm not gonna lie here, a lot of people are fucking stupid on YouTube. I'm not gonna say I'm some kind of a smart guy, I would say I'm an average guy. I'm not smart, I'm not stupid, I'm not well educated, but I'm not uneducated either. But like, for God's sakes, even I smell bullshit stories when I see bullshit stories. I don't believe that kind of shit, and I have a hard time thinking other people believe it either. And it just makes me angry, because it feels like they're treating us like retarded 12-year-olds that have no clue how the world works, and they just do it to make the monies. And this is kind of the issue I have with today's media, and they're also way too negative always, because you know what? Tragically sells. Fear factor sells. Like, scaring people really sells. Like, if you tell them Ebola is fucking coming to America in the newspaper, you seen how that's been going on? Yeah, it's no fucking big deal. It's one, like, guy that's sick they're gonna try to help. Just because you bring him over on a plane with professional healthcare people doesn't mean other people are gonna get sick, but that's how the newspaper put it up, to scare you and make you afraid of doing anything else than reading up on it and knowing what the hell's going on? And that's what they feed upon the news nowadays, our fear of horrible things. And I really hope that's gonna stop soon, because more and more people are going to YouTube and alternative news sites to get their stories and their fill of entertainment. So hopefully they're just gonna die out by themselves quickly, I hope as well. As usual, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.